welcome back to my StarCraft 2 weekend cast. We're going to be continuing our StarCraft 2 again with EGStephano. Of course, if you have been following Stephano, he did move to EG now. So Stephano, one of the famous Zerg players, is now with EG, and we are going to be playing versus LGIMMvp, actually MVP on the top left corner, while Stephano on the bottom right of the map, Ohana. Now, in the beginning, of course, nothing much is going to be happening. Both players are going to be droning up, so I'm going to speed it up a little bit. We do have that typical supply depot, probably a wall, depending on how he decides to continue with that. So far, both the players are aggressively droning up. We do have, of course, that Overlord coming in to scout out exactly what is going to be happening or position it in a place that would be very effective. We do have those double barracks come down from MVP, and this is, I do believe, one of the top players for Terran as well that's going up against Stephano, so it's going to be very, very interesting to see what's going to be happening. Spawning pool followed by the hatchery. I do believe MVP will be going for that second command center, which he is already. We do have both the command centers happening there. He did use the command center to wall it off, so really nice strategy here to use that command center to make that wall off. Factory directly coming after it to give that access to more tech and units. Of course, so far in relative terms, both players are pretty much on par. Stephano a little bit ahead with the second base as he does have it drawn up, but of course the Terran players with those mules pretty much do catch up for those drones. So in a way it is a little bit equal though, but Stephano just slightly a little bit ahead in terms of that. We do have the reactor coming down. I don't know if it's going to be a hot swap. Is he going to be going in for a Hellion Harass? Time will tell if he's going to be hot swapping this or not. Starport coming in, so probably not. He might switch that starport with the reactor and have the double medevac production, but we would have seen a more barracks, so I don't see that happening. Probably coming in for a Hellion Harass. Time will of course tell exactly what he decides to do. Stephano spreading his overlords nicely equal across the maps, going for that roach worm, which we know Stephano is very famous for. And yes, we do have that Hellion Harass, double Hellion Harass, since we didn't see those barracks, so he is going to be going in for that. The starport probably might be going in for some Banshee, and we'll see how that is going. Of course, the debris is being destroyed here, so we should expect to see that third base come online as early as possible. Roach room complete, 2 evolution chambers to make those 1-1 upgrades, 2-2 upgrades, and so on and so forth. So nothing happening. First roach is up and out. This barracks might be used to drop and do that. Is he going to be going for a little bit of production? Sorry, go. So I do believe both players are pretty. I don't exactly know what the hell he meant by that, if he was waiting or not. Bunker coming up. We do have the Zolnaga tower control is now coming down to MVP. Unfortunately, that one roach pretty much did manage to hold off these 4 Hellions, so more roaches will be coming on into play, which we do have 3 roaches. They should pretty much be able to push that out. Banshees as predicted. Cloak research nearly complete. He might wait for that cloak to complete before he starts that harass, and this is a very, very nice game so far happening by both the players though. So he is going to be obviously waiting till that cloak completes, and the moment that completes he's going to be moving forward. Third command center in play as expected. It's going to be, should be moving down directly to that third base, and he should put a little bit of back into it and get rid of that destructive debris. Cloak is complete. Here it comes, going for the production line. We do have that spore crawler right on time nearly actually, so will he manage to take out at least a couple of these drones before it completes? He will, so it's really nice to see that Stephano did manage to see that from happening. So he's going to be going for the other base, and it's already completed here. Of course, Queen's being pulled off the line, followed by the Overseer, forces that Banshee to retreat, and that is the end of that. The center of the map goes to Stephano now finally with those roaches, and he should maybe be able to pick off a few though. The Queens are a little bit slow in terms of catching up with those Banshees, so nothing's going to be happening there. He's going to have to rely on the Queens to keep these Banshees at bay. Siege tank coming online as well, armory as well, so we should have hopefully those 1-1 upgrades for those tanks and maybe the Marines. So far he's not really picking what type of build he wants. He is really expanding very, very aggressively, and Stephano as well. We do have those 3 bases. Pretty much both players are on par in terms of building and expanding. Scan comes down of course just to see what is happening here. He sees the roach worm, and he will see the rest of these units, which he did see pretty nicely. And we see MVP building very, very drastically these Hellions. So he is going in for a Hellion push. These Overlords, of course, on the corners placed very smartly to pick off any airdrops coming down, so that Banshee Those 2 Banshees are just scouting out to see if there's anything there. A couple of units moving down, the 3rd base coming online as well. So far no aggression. Upgrades are pretty much being done on both players. A couple of Hydralisks as well to counter those air units by Stephano. So more upgrades by both players. Infestation Pit as well coming into play, so we're gonna have a Roach Infestor build by Stephano, followed by the Overseer, of course, for those Cloaked Banshees. He's gonna be doing a little bit of a prod. I don't think it'll be very effective though. He should be retreating now the moment the Overseer comes into play, and he will drop these Banshees. A lot of resources lost there. He will manage to save just that 1 Banshee, but he could be coming in a little bit for a harass, but he knows that is coming up. That he managed to siege up. He's moving the Hellions down. Not very effective against Roaches. This is not going to be very good for him at all. All these Hellions won't be doing much good at all, actually. There's no blue frame upgrade. These Roaches will pretty much mop up the Hellions very, very aggressively, of course. The tanks are very nicely placed. Unfortunately, not enough of them, and the SCVs being pulled off the line to prevent the Roaches from going for the tanks, but that won't happen. Tanks are going to be dropped, even though he will postpone this. A lot of damage for the SCVs. A lot of units are being lost, and Hellions versus Roaches are a no-go at all. I don't know why he didn't switch the build, but MVP is still persisting on building those Hellions. He is still consistently building those Hellions, and this will not be a very positive, you can say, outcome for MVP. Of course, looking at that command orbital and moving back down. Nothing really to hold off the build itself. Tanks are going to be sieging up on the higher grounds. I don't know why he didn't move them down, since he does have nothing to defend it or maybe block off the actual wall. So far, I do believe this game is going to be going for Stephano, as there's nothing much he can do. He tried to place that orbital down to prevent these Roaches from moving forward, but they will mop that up a little bit too late with that tank. He should have had those tanks on the low ground earlier on, but that's pretty much it. More, of course, Roaches streaming across the map, and again, more Roaches for Stephano, as we know Stephano likes to do that. And this is it for MVP Prime. He is only holding on for dear life, and being a good sport, I must say, in terms of countering acting with these Roaches. You need tanks for the Roaches and not Hellions, so finally, he is continually producing those Hellions, even though he sees that Stephano really has no Zerglings or any other unit that does anything in terms of counteracting those Roaches. So nothing really happening there. Let's just look at the resources lost. We have 6 to 5, so it's not really that drastically though. But if we do look at the actual units, you do have 32 to 76, so that is a massive, massive decrease. But those mules might actually make them catch up though. But we have a massive, massive you can say checkpoint here, a waypoint by Stephano. A lot of Roaches coming into play. He's probably going to be moving forward, but now finally he has something to counter it. We do have those 4 tanks sieging up, so this should be very, very effective in terms of countering that out. I don't know why he doesn't scout out that 3rd base, as he knows that there is something still on that 3rd base though, even though he does have the higher ground vision. Roaches are going to be moving a little bit forward. He doesn't have any you can say scout, so he could have got a couple of pot shots off, but he's going to be, of course, doing a little bit of harass with these Hellions, but not very effective. He's going to be pincered in. Roaches will pretty much mop up these Hellions very, very quickly, and that is the end of that for MVP's harass. Now, this is pretty much it. This should literally be able to tear through what MVP does have, including his actual build, and now he's moving forward. This might actually end very, very swiftly. Unfortunately, I don't think he'll have enough to hold this off at all with the amount of Roaches. We do have a lot of Roaches. We do have 31 Roaches in comparison to only a couple of tanks up there. So the moment Stephano decides to push in, that will be the end of that. And he finally did spot out that we do have, of course, to go directly for those tanks. Tanks are going to be dropping very, very quickly. And none of them damage. We do have 2-2 upgrades for those Roaches as well, in comparison to the 0-1 upgrades for those tanks. So that's it for MVP. And Stephano pretty much will be able to mop this up and move forward. Those Hydralisks, of course, providing very nice cover. MVP calling it a GG. And this is it for Game 1 of the semifinals of this wonderful tournament. And as always, happy gaming, and see you guys in Game 2. Bye.